Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences. The things people don't tell you.
Hey, Mama, hey! It is just me today. So just to give you all some context, first, my name is Kendra, and I am one of the co-hosts for the Real Mama Pod. Devin is absent today, but she is, of course, here in spirit. And our conversation today is around Month of the Military Child. So, to give you all a little bit of context, I am a former military dependent. My dad served 30 plus years in the Army, so it was only right that I have a conversation around Month of the Military Child and have some dialogue with one of my favorite girls, me and Devin's goddaughter, Reese, and we just so happen to have her dog. Her dad, which is also a really good friend of ours. And Eric is no stranger to the Real Mama Pod. He has been on the show before, and he also catered our date night event. So shout out to Played It by EJ. But anyways, back to Reese and Month of the Military Child. So it was only right that we have some conversation around what it means to be a military child. That is a huge part of our community. We have a lot of kids and a lot of moms that are military connected, whether they are in the military themselves or they may have a spouse or a partner who's in the military. And these conversations are very real. I personally saw what my mom went through with being a military spouse and how she raised me and my brother when my dad was deployed or in the field for whatever reason. So this is an extremely important conversation, and I'm so glad that we're able to have this conversation with our goddaughter Reese and again her daddy Eric, who is in the Navy. So welcome to the Real Mama Pod, Reese, and welcome back, Eric. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
Thanks. I'm happy to be back.
Well, I'm somewhat happy to have you, but I'm definitely happy to have Reese here. So, Reese, my first question is for you. Can you tell us a little bit about your family?
So I'll tell you that they're helpful and they'll always do something good. So I'm just proud of my family on what they accomplished, and I want to be a person like them.
Oh, that's really sweet. So, Reese, do you have a brother or a sister or any siblings?
I have a little brother that's crazy.
What's his
You
name?
have a little crazy brother?
His name is Eric, just like this big head.
And what do we call him?
We call him Deuce, but he's like this big head guy.
Okay. So the little big head. All right. So, Eric, this next question is for you. I'm assuming you did not grow up in a military family. So, can you tell us how or what it means to be raising a family that is connected to the military?
Yeah, so you're correct. I didn't come from a military background, and in fact, my generation. So myself, I have a twin brother, Derek, who's also in the Army, and my oldest cousin Wallace served in the Army as well. And
Cool.
so we are the first in our family to be service members, and so it was something that we kind of charted ourselves from this path, and we didn't grow up, learning about or having the model of someone being in the military, but at this point, I love it. It allows me to wear the uniform, to show up for my kids, to give them an example that they can look up to, and go to their school, get engaged in the community. During Veterans Day, we participate in so many activities, and it just again allows them to see a part of something that that I'm a part of, that I care a lot about, but
Mhm.
also um, instill values into them that, maybe one day they may decide to serve. But if not, at the very least, a lot of those things aren't encouraged commitment specifically to the Navy. But learning respect, trust, those are just core values that we just aim to instill into them.
I love it. So you are in the Navy, your brother's in the Army.
Yes, makes for
What
some interesting banter during the holidays.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. What made you join the Navy?
If I'm being frank, I was in high school. The Navy offered me a full ride scholarship, and they gave me opportunity to go to the greatest university in the world, the Florida
Shout out to the
Agricultural
Rattlers.
University. And so I went on a Navy ROTC scholarship, and I just feel like it was like going to FAMU was the greatest decision ever, but also joining the Navy was an amazing decision for me, and in effect allowed my family to become on a very different trajectory than so many of those that have come before me.
I love it. I love it. So even though I'm an Army brat, I
Okay.
was born on a Navy installation. So
Mm.
I have some love for the Navy, and my grandfather was in the Navy. So
Okay.
shout out to the Navy men.
Hoo-yah.
All right. All right. So we're gonna shift gears a little bit. Back to you, Reese. So, can you tell our listeners what is your favorite thing about your family?
My favorite thing about my family is I get to hang out with them, and I'm just happy that I get to love on them and they love on me.
Mm.
Oh, so you have a very loving family. Okay. So let me ask you this question, Reese. Do you know what it means to have a dad in the military? Do you know what the military is?
Yeah, it's a serious business where you need to find ways to help people and you just do crazy work.
Mm.
I
Ah!
think it's a pretty safe answer. You do help people,
Yeah.
and it can get a little crazy. So
Yes.
I think that is a very fair interpretation of what the military is.
Hmm.
All right. So, Eric, how whenever, if ever there's a question of
Hmm.
your work and why you may be as busy and crazy as, as Reese say, when it comes to explaining the military
Hmm.
to your family, how do you explain what your job is?
I think you kind of just heard it in her answer. It's just a way for us to serve others, and
Mhm.
always to help others. And in that service, it can be it can be incorporated into various different facets of your life. So
Mhm.
helping and serving people in our family, in our community, in your school, so forth and so on. I kind of always try to keep it grounded in it is a way for me to help our family, but also help our country, help those in our community, and then also provide a level of service to them. And then again, those are values that easily translate to them, and they seem to receive it.
Salute, huh, Reese? I love it. I love it. So, Reese, when you think about your daddy, what is one thing that you are most proud of?
Him helping my mom raise us, and he takes us to swim and helps us a lot.
Mm.
So, you're proud that daddy helps out mommy, that he supports you and Juice with swimming, and he shows up for you.
Yep.
That's what you're most proud of?
Yep.
Well, that's really sweet, Reese.
Mhm.
Those are some really good things to be proud about with
Mhm.
daddy. Really good things.
Thank you.
So, Eric,
Mhm.
when you think about because you've been in the Navy for how long?
In about 2 weeks, beginning of May, it'll be 17 years.
17 years is
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
So
I
right
remember
now,
you moved to San Diego
Yes.
college, which
Mhm.
doesn't seem like 17.
Yeah, don't seem that long ago, but
Oh, but okay. So when we think about raising children in the Navy, you all don't have like the traditional, oh, I move my family around
Mhm.
every 3 years. But you are still impacted by the work that you do with the Navy. Like
Yes.
you have to deploy sometimes, you have to
Mhm.
go out and do trainings and go away for school and what have you. When you think about the life essentially that you're exposing your kids to and Taylor.
Mhm.
Is there anything, although again, it's not this traditional idea of what military life looks like, is what is rewarding about the work that you do and how it kind of speaks to your family dynamics?
Yeah, so and for your listeners, when Kendra says traditional in the sense that I'm now in the reserves, and so we aren't having a PCS every 3 years. So we're somewhat stationary, but as she mentioned, throughout the year, I will have to go out for various, lengths of time and be away from the family.
Mhm.
I've deployed in the past and not so uh I guess the recent past, and while Reese was relatively young, and so it absolutely has an impact on the entire family dynamic. And
Mhm.
so in those moments, it allowed, I think, myself and Taylor to just refocus on, what it means to be parents. And so if I may share a bit about that time, that was a bit challenging during
Of
my
course.
deployment a few years ago, where I was going for nearly a year and very early into that deployment, at home and at school, we noticed a bit of a behavioral change with Reese. And so and it's just her adapting to her dad being with her every day of her life for the first 3 years of her life, and
Mhm.
suddenly daddy's not here, um, and I don't know the next time I'm gonna see him, and she had to learn to cope with those emotions that she was experiencing and, dealing with that change, and, fortunately, we had the support system that kinda noticed that change in her, and we got her, um, aligned with a play therapist who
Mhm.
really spent a lot of time to work her through coping with her emotions, identifying what those emotions and changes were. Um, funny story, uh, is about a month into that, we had a session where we had a review of just, hey, this is what I'm observing in the sessions. And one of the things was that every time she comes in here, she immediately goes to the play kitchen and she won't leave the play kitchen. Is what is the significance of that? And you know that, Kendra, like when I cook, for Plated by EJ, I cook at home, but
Mhm.
she's right here next to me whenever
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so kinda drawing that connection for her, it was her way of saying like, "Hey, I'm still connected to my dad even though he's not here." And
Yeah.
we just leaned into that and, again, as parents, it allowed us to just really focus on what's important and find ways to show up, and appreciate the times when we aren't here. And
Mhm.
I think one of the things that she, as well as my son, do truly appreciate is whenever I leave, I try always to find something to bring back from wherever
Mhm.
I go. And so that little small token oftentimes, helps them to know that they have something to look forward to whenever I return.
Yeah. So I think you raised a couple good points here. One, clearly when you're home, Reese is right by you doing pretty much whatever you're doing, but
Mhm,
you have a true passion for cooking as
mhm.
well.
Absolutely.
And the fact that she went straight to the kitchen every time, it shows one, I do pay attention to what my dad does when he's here. But also, this is my way of showing that I miss my dad.
Mhm.
And while he is away, he will be home soon. And I'm sure that your heart was beaming
Of course.
whenever you heard about, just her way of showing her connection to you while you
Mhm.
were away and that she is actually thinking about you and misses you.
Yes.
Um, So to that point though, you mentioned that when you are away, you try to bring the kids back something just to
Mhm,
say, daddy was away, but daddy brought you something. I missed
mhm.
you. But before you come back home, right? How do you stay connected emotionally with them since you're not physically there?
Yeah, that's it's always challenging, especially when you're dealing with time zones.
Mhm.
When I leave, and so oftentimes that means some very late nights.
Mhm.
So most recently, that meant every night around 2:30 in the morning, um, I was on the phone and I would spend an hour on the phone with them because that was a time that they were having dinner and getting ready for bedtime. And so that truly was, due to my schedule, the only opportunity I had to talk to them. And so
Mhm.
it's making those sacrifices to ensure that you're staying connected, because you're not present in the physical sense, but you can
Mhm.
only find ways to stay, emotionally connected with them during that time.
Yeah. Man, because when you are in a different time zone, that's like six
You already
hours.
jet lagged and sleep's thrown off. And
Oh,
yeah, you
man.
finally get you a good 3 hours and the alarm going off. Hey, I gotta be up. So
And you got to report on time. So
absolutely.
they don't care who you was on the phone with talking to. You got to report wherever you need to be.
Yeah.
So shout out to the moms and dads who are in the military and have to spend time away from their families. It is hard on both sides, I'm sure. But we are resilient people and we always get through. And you have been an example of what it means, Reese. But also you too, Eric. You have to also show some resilience when it comes to being away from your family and adjusting. So, thank you for your service. I'm being nice to you on this camera and this microphone, but seriously, thank you for your service and all that you've done to support and serve our country. Pat on the back for you.
Thank you,
Give him
Kat.
a pat on the back, Reese. There you go. So, Reese, can you answer one more question for me?
Sure.
So, when Daddy is away working, what are some things that you miss most about him?
I miss being next to him when we're cooking, and when he's away, I'll try cooking myself, and that does not go well.
Well, what happens?
So once I tried making grilled cheese, because I accidentally overmade it, and like the cheese was like so crusty that Deuce could barely bite it.
Mm.
So, that happened, and when when I was trying to ride my bike, it made it hard because I usually like him running beside me because it
Mhm.
makes me feel comfortable. And I always like when he does that. And third and finally, I just love when he is with me and he's next to me.
Oh, you like your daddy's girl?
Mm.
I am too. I
And,
understand.
and also my mommy's a girl.
You a mama's girl too? We love it. You are mama and daddy's girl.
That's right.
I like it. Well, I appreciate everything that both of you have shared in our very short conversation. This is what I call a short and sweet conversation. Is that Deuce?
And say hi.
You can say hi. Reese, do you want to introduce everyone to your brother?
So this is my little cuckoo head brother. And he's silly. So if he does anything silly while I'm talking about him, just ignore him.
Oh,
So he likes to play with his toys, and he loves to cook too.
really?
And he also likes being silly. He also likes saying backflip. He likes saying backflip, and he just loves to be silly. So
He
that's
likes
all.
to be silly.
That's not all.
Yes. He
That's
loves
not
sports
all.
as
Yeah,
well.
he also loves sports.
And space.
in space. And Mama died.
And what else, Deuce?
Daddy killed every time Mommy and Daddy leave. That made me die.
When Daddy and Mommy leaves, it makes you sad.
Oh, you miss Daddy too when he's away sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I'm crying when he leaves. I can't. It takes me 2 hours to stop crying, or maybe longer. Maybe 100.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry. And then Daddy comes back home, and then everyone has happy tears.
That's right.
And also, what happy tears? What happy tears?
Okay.
It means when you have happy tears, you're crying because you're very happy.
Yes.
Alrighty, so we're not having a traditional Mama Juice today because
Mama Juice.
Oh, Mama Juice, that's right, Deuce. But today's Mama Juice is a mocktail because we're hanging out with our god kids. Okay, so today's drink is called Purple Up.
Purple Up.
Yes, it's called Purple Up because for the military, the color is purple that represents all branches of service. And we're naming this drink Purple Up in honor of all military-connected children who have a parent serving in the military. We want to show our love and appreciation for them, but also their parents who are serving. So today's Purple Up drink consists of lavender syrup, lemonade, and you can top it with club soda or sparkling water. And that is our Purple Up drink today. Now, if you are one of the adults who wants to indulge in the Purple Up drink, I would suggest that you add gin or vodka to that cocktail or mocktail. And that will be your Purple Up drink. Alrighty, so Devin is obviously not here, so I'm also doing Mama's Corner. And I have one more question for Reese. You ready, Reese? If you and Daddy could go on a dream adventure, where would you go and who would you bring with you?
I would like to go to Candyland or Hawaii. And if we go to Hawaii, then I know my mom would enjoy it, but also my dad would love to swim in the pools. And also, if I go to Candyland, then I'm probably gonna have my dad pick me up, and so we can eat the candy tree together.
The candy tree? So where exactly is Candyland?
Near Santa Claus's lair.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, if you'll have me, Gigi would love to go with you to Hawaii and Candyland. Okay?
Bring Gigi with you?
Sure. Is that me?
Yeah, you too, dudes. You gotta ask your sister.
They bring me. I'll think about it, little guy.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, James family, for joining us today. Reese, we loved talking to you and hearing about your relationship with your daddy and what it means to be a military-connected child. Eric, thank you again for your service and for joining us today. And Deuce, thank you for being our special guest.
We thank you for having us, and we appreciate the work that you guys are doing and appreciate for highlighting us for Military Child Month.
All right. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.